I make this distinction a lot in school, and I don't remember if you may have actually had this as either a discussion or maybe even a writing topic in class, but I started throwing this around with students sometimes is I just set them up the question, what's the difference between schooling and education? And do what you want with it. Like, it's a good journal prompt because you can answer it any way you want. I just want you to think hard and write something. But I really do believe that if we're serious about making school better, then we need to untether the two terms. Education is the sum total of what you learn in your life, and schooling is going in and sitting in the desk and doing the thing. And if schooling is going to be improved, then we need to recognize that you can go to school and be good at school and not get a great education. And likewise, you could never go to school and still get a very good education. So saying that, homeschooling isn't for everyone isn't an argument against it, because I think you can just as easily say that the traditional school model is not for everyone. And on that one, we have a lot of data to support that it's not for everyone. It works at least okay for most people, but I don't know that it works great for that many, and we know that it works poorly for some others. And so if the goal is to do these things better, I would say the first thing you have to do is untie the two pieces, right? And then, say when you think about your sister, who I know through the UNICEF Club, which we did and I say we, I facilitated, and aside from kicking around some ideas and providing signatures, students really ran with that. But raised thousands of dollars for UNICEF and put on all these cool events and all these things. I think that for the students who took that seriously and were the most involved and the most motivated, I think that some of those students learned more through their involvement in the UNICEF Club than they did in a lot of their classes. I was on like a musical production team when I was in high school. Like we did the finance, we did the tickets, we did the programs. Like, it was nothing musical. We did the business side of it. If I think about the skills that I have today that I actually use, I probably learned more through working in the musical production team than I did in pretty much anything else. And so if our goal is education, then it probably isn't bad that we're both providing those opportunities, but maybe it would be nice to find a way to sort of give the quote unquote credit for it, so that students who thrive in that setting or in that situation have the opportunity to use that as something that propels them towards, say, graduation or college or a job or whatever. We treat it as a quote unquote extracurricular, which makes us all think it's extra. We think of it as like the icing on the cake, not the cake, or like that's the dessert, not the meal. And I think maybe we underestimate the fact that for some students, and this goes for sports too. There's some guys on the football team that in the classroom, it's like, this guy's like a rock, there's just nothing, but then you see him like on the field and talking to teammates and it's like, wow, like, wow, this is a very competent and capable person. Maybe there's a way that we can treat that like the meal itself, not just like dessert. And I don't know how we make that shift.
Because the question I always get asked is, what class best prepared you for the work you're currently doing? And my response always is like, none of them really.
Actually, what was your major? I was a
bio major, philosophy minor, and now I'm in kind of the business realm doing management consulting. So no class has a direct application to what I'm doing now. And that's probably true for most students. And most hiring happens on the basis of, is the student a critical thinker? Can the student, ask certain kinds of questions, and not what did the student learn specifically? And I think that's sort of been a general theme through our homeschooling and public school experience. It's like, it's not necessarily about what specific knowledge base I came out with, but more about what skills did I leave.